So here we go then, guys. We have got our first look at F1 2020 My Team for you guys today here on the channel. Codemasters have just dropped the first look video, which we're going to take a look at, and then we're going to break down some of the key elements that we can see within the gameplay itself. So first of all, enjoy the trailer itself, and we're going to come back and break down lots of different things that we can see about the gameplay itself. Enjoy. Alright then, so that was the trailer for F1 2020 My Team, but what we're going to do now is I'm going to break this section into different commentary segments, which for you will obviously all be into one, and basically just go through the other things that we can clearly point out from the trailer itself. So starting things off then, we're going to look at the customization section of F1 2020 My Team. Of course, you're going to have a very similar customization feature as we've seen in career mode, with regards to obviously your player's face, and obviously I'm guessing, you know, your name, your nationality, and your driver number, because of course, you're going to be driving as well as also managing the team. You're going to be being a driver manager, so you've got a couple of things that you need to take into consideration. With regards to the customization, it's going to be pretty much the exact same format as we've seen for the multiplayer cars that we've seen from F1 2019, with regards to that being the driver's suit that you're wearing, and also the livery of the car that you're going to be taking part with. So as you can see from the two screenshots that you would have scrolled through now, you'll be able to customize your own helmet, your own driver's suit, your gloves, and also the livery of your car. One thing that's to be noted as well is that the badge as well that you can see on the driver's suit, which you would have seen, showcases that you probably may even be able to get your own team logo, which means then you can put that onto your helmet, because the driver which is standing there with his helmet is actually showcasing the same logo as well. So that's a pretty interesting and a very cool feature that we are seeing so far with regards to the customization aspect of My Team. So the next piece that we're going to look at then is going to be engine suppliers for F1 2020. Now, as we can see here, we have got some basically a screenshot here which showcases what power unit you'll be able to select and how much it's actually going to cost you for this time. And they've actually split the power units into two different categories. So we've got Renault, Ferrari, Mercedes and Honda being all of the power unit suppliers in Formula 1, and we can see all around what their actual performance stats are. So starting things off with Renault, their performance is 87, I'm guessing this is out of 100, with their durability being down at 79. Then which is going to cost 2.7 million in terms of its contract cost. Ferrari have got the best power unit on the grid, and therefore it's got 94 performance and 97 durability, being £4.1 million cost. Mercedes then have got a £3.4 million cost with 89 performance and 93 durability. Honda then have got a performance of 76 and a durability of 76 and a performance of 86 with a contract cost of 2.3 million. Now it's a bit wayward. I think we can all pretty much put into perspective that the Honda power unit is probably quicker than the Renault power unit. Yeah, that's to put into consideration. But clearly, as we can see from the screenshot here, if you're going to go, in terms of your budget, you're going to need to be careful with what you're going to select here. Obviously, you may want to select the Honda power unit and build that durability and performance up for a cheaper cost, or you just go straight in with the Ferrari power unit, giving you the best power unit on the grid, but it's going to mean that you're going to get hampered in other sections of the career mode. Or you can take that balance approach of picking either Renault or Mercedes and just trying to make sure you've got a well-balanced car, or you try and specify in one area. But this is a very interesting thing to take note of. It's the power units for my team. Now here's one piece in this next screenshot here which I was kind of happy about, but then I was a little bit disappointed at the same time. It's the team sponsors that you can pick for your car. Now, as we can see here, a lot of these were actually on the F1 2019 multiplayer cars, such as Venus, Sunburst, I think Exxon Dynamics was on there as well. It's a little bit of a downer, this one, because of course we've got all the sponsors on the F1 2020 cars, and obviously they've got licensing to put those sponsors on. I just felt it would have been kind of nice if, you know, we could have had those real life sponsors on the car. For example, you know, my F1 team now has a sponsorship from Petronas, so we can use the same sponsorship that Mercedes has got. I can have Petronas on the rear wing and, you know, on the side part of the car, and then, for example, I don't know, I've got, you know, Mobile One that I can put on the front nose or something like that. Just something like that to really bring a bit more realism to the sponsorships on this one. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. We're going to have to, unfortunately, stick with the sponsors that they have created, the fake sponsors, which could be understandable for licensing perspectives and, you know, and all of that front. But I just felt, because they've got the sponsors in the game, there's been a license and acceptance in there, whether they've not been accepted to allow us as our own teams to have, you know, Petronas on there. Like, for example, you know, we could have Petronas as our sponsor, do really, really badly, make the team fully collapse, and then it kind of looks Petronas look a little bit bad in some respects, but it's just a game at the end of the day. A little bit of a downer, but we are going to be able to get sponsors on that car, however many. Of course, that depends, and it's going to be big for the money aspect of the team. Now, the game does go through the F1 2020 driver ratings for the F2 drivers. Unfortunately, they go through them at super lightning speed, to the point where I've had to drop the clip speed from its standard 100% down to 10% just to actually get this and showcase them all through. So it doesn't really go through every single F2 driver's pieces here in terms of their ratings, because obviously there's a lot more in there, but we can get a sort of feel of what the ratings of the F2 drivers are in there. We've got Giotto at 62 rating. We've then got, if we go through them all then, so we've got Camara at 59, Zio at 61, De Vries 66, Delatraz 58, Brocchioli 61, Aitken 67, Bachon 54, 56, 61, it's going really quickly, 62, Giotto 62, and it goes like that. That's what I mean. They go through really, really quickly. Feel free to pause the video on some of the drivers you want to have a look at their ratings for. We've got a feel of what the F2 driver ratings are going to be. That in comparison to the F1 drivers, showcasing really that you probably want to go out and try and find yourself a Formula 1 driver, but then go and find yourself an F2 driver as your teammate. Of course, obviously, it's very much a case of how much money you actually get, whether you race with a Formula 1 driver or you decide to bring an F2 driver up through the ranks into your Formula 1 team. By the looks of it, you're probably looking maybe towards the F2 drivers, but it just depends on how much money we get. We don't know that yet, and once we do, we can make comparisons. Now, the last thing that I actually wanted to go through for this is going to be the F1 2020 My Team facilities that you can build, and fair play to Codemasters. They've absolutely smashed it with this in terms of what we're actually going to be able to do within the facilities, in terms of the actual level design structures of these, in terms of the environment itself. But first of all, starting with the first screenshot then, shout out to Team Malek for building the engine, so that's going to blow up. Sorry, Ben. But you can see here that we've got the team facility with the engine department. You can see there that they're working hard on creating the best engine possible. And just overall, the feel of the office, it really does make you feel like this is your own. It's very, very cool there. So obviously, whatever power unit you pick, this is going to be your engine department. And I really, really like this. You know, they could have literally been so basic with the facilities. And it's very similar to like career mode. It was just so basic in terms of just building up your, you know, right, we're going to go to the engine department and do this, that, and the other. This time, you can properly see the departments that you're working at. So this is the engine department then. The second screenshot goes through and actually has a look at the facilities here and upgrading your facilities in terms of the specifications of it, and actually where you'll be able to build some resource points generation from this as well. And what we can see here is we've got the money in the top right hand corner here. We've got 3.06 million. We've got resource points of 1,000, and then number 14 there, I'm presuming that's just the level in which you are. But what we can see here is we've got aerodynamics, we've got the fabrication, the build time, the quality control, and the resource point generation. And again, for that, that's for the chassis, personnel, powertrain, durability, and marketing. There's a lot of different aspects to go through for this. We've got the overview of the facilities, R&D, vehicle, corporate, and standings. Lots of cool things in this menu to have a look at, and we can have a look, we can see here that the weekly resource points that your team is currently going to gather is 300 resource points. Now, I'm presuming the more that you upgrade each department, the more resource point generations you'll get from your chassis, aero, and so forth, then the more that you'll be able to upgrade the car even further. And then obviously we've got a weekly running cost of $50,000. So we can get an understanding now of how much it's going to cost to keep running our team, and then how much resources we're going to get, and just trying to manage the budgeting aspect of F1 2020 My Team is really, really cool, and I really, really enjoy it. But anyway, guys, the final one that we're going to look at then is going to be of the wind tunnel here. So this is super, super impressive. Seeing that F1 2020 car in the wind tunnel, getting a look at what it's going to look like, to be developing different aspects of our car, it's going to be absolutely amazing. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video of F1 2020 My Team. If you have enjoyed it, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. And yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to the game, and I can't stress enough how impressive this 2020 My Team is looking, and just 2020 in general. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here as well, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care all, peace.